Hi, it's John here from Shepherd's Walks and welcome to the pre-event briefing ahead of the Northern Pennine Way Challenge Walks for 2024. What I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to quickly go over a number of things. I'm going to quickly go over the pre-event information. I'm going to go over the kit list, what's mandatory and what's not mandatory. I'm also going to go over what to do in an emergency during the event. Also down below is the various route information. As you may have gathered already this year, we've got three distances. We've got a 13-mile walk, a 18-mile walk, and a 23-mile event as well. So there's the various GPX files below this video, and in the videos below I show you how you can import those into some software, and then you can transcribe that information onto your paper ordnance survey map, or alternatively transfer it onto a GPS or a watch if you've got something like that. But don't worry, don't be overwhelmed with it. I'm here to help you through that process. So I'm going to quickly go over the pre-event information, kit list, and what to do in an emergency. So the pre-event information, hopefully you've downloaded from the email the document which has the pre-event information in it. There's key things within here. It shows what time you register. As there's three events, the registration time varies for each of those events. You've got a half-hour slot for your distance, and that's when you would need to register. Then you're going to get straight onto a minibus or a coach, which is going to take you to the start of your walk. They're all linear walks, and what we do is we check in at Lynn Briggs, we bus you out to a location, then you make your way back to Lynn Briggs, which is the registration point. Again, all the details are in here for that. If you're unsure what distance you book yourself onto, don't worry, just drop me a quick email, info@shepherdswalks.co.uk, or give me a quick call on 01669 621 044, and I can quickly check on the database and make sure what event you're booked onto. But fingers crossed you know which distance you've done. But again, if you're not, don't hesitate, just get in touch and we can help you out. So it shows you, it tells you this, the registration time for each of those events, and it also shows you the checkpoints and also the details of how to get to the registration, which is Little Lynn Briggs Farm near Alwynton. The other thing you're going to find in here is the kit list for the event. You've got both in the back page, you've got the both mandatory and recommended kit lists accordingly. So let's just think about what we're doing. It's a high walk in the Cheviot Hills. I always say this nice possible way, if the weather's lovely and sunny, it's going to be a really nice, easy walk and you'll be able to see exactly where you're going. But the reality is you are going to be over 2,000 feet for a part of this walk. If it's a wet, miserable day, we really need to be prepared. So what we're having to do, as we did last year, is give you a kit list, and a number of that is mandatory. It is what we're expecting you to be. There will be kit checks at registration, so please make sure you got the relevant kit. Again, I'll put a link, I'll list that below with various links into it as well. So fingers crossed you got most of the kit already, but we'll put direct links into the products on the Shepherd's Walks website. Again, we're just selling this really at cost price to help you get onto this walk. So things like, you'll see the map is a half price. Again, you will have to add postage onto that, but it's still cheaper than if you bought it anywhere else. Again, because we need to make sure that you've got the right kit list. Some of it, again, emergency shelter, whistle, mobile phone, etc. a mandatory kit list. Again, if you go through this kit list, some of the other things like sunscreen and sunglasses, etc. will be variants on the day. So where the forecast is hot, you're going to come with those extra equipment. If it's a wet, horrible day, of course you don't need it. Again, as always, if there's any questions or any queries about anything on the kit list, please just get in touch with myself and I'm happy to talk you through it. Again, please don't be overwhelmed by it. There's direct links there into the various products on our website, and over the past year we've bought it as cheaply as possible, and again we'll sell it on to you guys if you need it. So have a look through there at the kit list on there. And the key thing is, we need an ordnance survey map. We need to know where you're going, and you can overlay the route that I'm going to give you below directly on the ordnance survey map. Also, this is quite a good point to bring in the Facebook page for the event. So I'm going to put a link in there to the Facebook page for the event. So again, if you found, I don't know, an emergency shelter cheap on Amazon, let other people know. If you can find X, Y, and Z, let other people know. Let's share experiences, even your training to date. Let other people know what you've been doing, and let's help each other and build it into a little bit of a community. So, registration on the event, as I've said already, we'll be doing kit checks. So once you've registered, we'll be doing kit checks. A couple of things that cropped up last year. The reality is you should really be carrying your own kit. Whether you're walking with a couple or with a group, that is a scenario. But if you're walking with your husband or your partner and your best friend, and you are guaranteed that you're never going to leave them, yes, you can share a map. Yes, you can share a first aid kit or something like that. We're going to be relatively lenient on that. But if you think that actually at some point I may leave my partner, my walking buddy, let's think logically here. You do need your own kit to go through the rest of that walk. But again, things like your own water, and personal belongings and self-medication, you should be carrying yourself anyway. So again, if you are going to walk or run with somebody else and you are never going to leave that person, I'm always going to debate whether you would leave that person or not, we're happy to share it. Again, at registration, we will have some kit on the morning that we'll try and get you through and onto the event if you do get stuck. But there will be kit checks at the morning. We'll also ask you whether you've watched this video or not. Fingers crossed you're watching it, otherwise we wouldn't. So again, we'll ask you that you've watched this video. Other key thing with the registration is there's just one toilet at the start as well, which is within the house where we do registration. Again, there's not a massive amount of people on the walk, so just be patient. I know it's often a long drive for many people. There may be a short queue, so just give yourself a little bit of time if you want to use the loo. I'm around at the start of the walk, so again, if you're unsure of the route, if you've transcribed it onto your ordnance survey map, you're a little bit unsure, you want me to go through with you, that's not a problem. Just grab me, I'll quickly go through it with you, explain anything any questions you've got. So avoid scared of asking me a question before the event or on the morning of the event if you wish me to do so. Okay, next thing we're moving on to is the route. So I've done a video down below of each of the 3 routes, so please watch the video that accordingly. Some things to bear in mind is we will not be waymarking this route. This is quite a route through quite remote areas of Northumberland. There's going to be a number of there's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 way markers throughout the whole of the route at complicated areas, but most of the high level areas will have no way marks on ourselves that we put on. So you need to be proficient and understand where you're going to go yourself. Again, there's a GPX file below. Again, if you have got a GPS watch or a GPS unit, please put it on, or even your mobile phone app if you've got an OS app or something like that, please put the GPX file on. If you're proficient at doing that, if you've never done it before, just get a paper map, draw on the top of a paper map exactly where you want, because the last thing you need is to be all flummoxed on the day if you're unsure about how to use new technology. Again, I'm going to show you how you use our OS planner from our sister company GPS Training, and those are in the videos below. Go through the route before, just have a quick understanding of where you need to do. People are doing the longer walks, the 18 and 23 mile walks. Checkpoint 1, I'm just going to quickly mention, which is at Lamb Hill. It's quite an exposed checkpoint, and we are limited to what we can get out there. We will have a little bit of water out there, but it is quite a long drive, and we have a 4-wheel drive vehicle to get staff out there. So again, just be aware that it's not going to be a place you can drop off kit for us to take back. If you have to drop out, we'll get you down from there, but that could be a long walk down to the valley bottom. So checkpoint 1 for people who are doing the 18 mile event and 23 mile walk is fairly isolated. Just bear that in mind. Again, there's plenty of cover there if it is a wet, miserable day if you get some shelter, but then just be aware. Checkpoint 2, completely different scenario. No, next to a track, we can get a van in there, we can get cars in there, and if you need to drop out to that location, that's not a problem. If you're going to drop bags off or excess clothing, if it's a warm day, that's not a problem. Have a word with the checkpoint 2 staff. Checkpoint 2 is also the only checkpoint that the 13-mile walk will go through. So again, if you're doing the 13-mile walk, no problem. You've got one checkpoint to go through, and if you want to drop out there or you want to leave anything, that's not a problem at all. There's also going to be a lot of water at that checkpoint, so that'd be great if it's a warm day. Next thing I'm going to quickly go to is what to do in an emergency. So fingers crossed you won't need anything of this, but just to quickly go through what you should be thinking about in an emergency. As I've said, it's going to be over 2,000 feet, much of this walk quite isolated. Again, just to think about what happens. So if you've got a life-threatening incident on the event, what should you be doing? If you've got a mobile phone signal, you should be dialing 999, asking for police, and then asking for mountain rescue. That's how we call mountain rescue in the UK. So if you have a life-threatening incident, call 999 on your mobile phone, ask for police, and then ask for mountain rescue. Mountain rescue are aware of the event that is taking place. We'll actually have maybe a few of the volunteers in and around on the day, just helping out as friends. But again, that is, if it's a life-threatening incident, this is what you should do. If you're twisting your ankle and you're just feeling a bit fed up or not feeling 100% on the day and you are able to walk, brilliant. Just take your own pace to the next checkpoint. Just walk at your own pace to the next checkpoint. Each of the checkpoints will have communications. This is usually satellite communications. So again, if you get to there, even if you've got no mobile phone signal, they're able to get satellite communications and get you extracted off the hill, whether it's via the buggy, whether it's via a car, depending on which of the checkpoints you get to. That is the best scenario. If you need to, and you're concerned or you're injured and you're walking slow, please feel free to call race control if you have a mobile phone signal. Race control number you need to have in your mobile phone. You'll need to see that and the pre-event information and put that into your own mobile phone. Then if you have a problem, you can call race control. Race control will then have comms to all our staff out on the event, and we can come try and help you if possible. So again, call race control if you feel that would be beneficial to yourself. Other thing to think about is we do sweep the event, e.g. we have staff that run at the back. Those sweep will have satellite communication as well. So if you have an accident and you think I'll be all right until the sweep comes along, please feel free to do that now. If you are going to stop, as this is the same as an emergency as well, if it is a wet, miserable day, keep yourself warm. This is why we've got to say take an emergency blanket or emergency shelter with you. Put your hat on, put your waterproofs on, put your gloves on, because you'll soon cool down in temperature, and the sweep will come across you and hopefully help manage that situation. Now, what will happen when the sweep gets there, we'll just have to see. He might see, or she might see, and get you on the feet and get you to the next checkpoint, but the sweep is at the back. Now, be aware, if you are at the front of the field, it could be an hour or two before the sweep gets to you. So you might think actually it's worth to see if I can move on at a slower pace and get to the next checkpoint. But the key thing is the sweep will have two-way satellite communication, and also will have expertise, first aid expertise to manage any situation and work out what you need to do. But the key thing is, if it's a life-threatening situation, do call mountain rescue. One other quick thing to mention, if you do feel like you want to come off the course and drop down off the course, you need to let race control know or a checkpoint know, because what actually happens is the sweep comes along and hits the checkpoint. At the checkpoint, we should have had everybody through that checkpoint, and we check people off as they go through the checkpoint. If you suddenly wandered off down to the valley, whether that's inadvertently or you've got lost or you decided you've had enough of it, if we get there and there's one person or two people missing, that's an emergency situation for ourselves. So again, if you are going to drop out, do not drop off that route unless you've seen a member of staff that is then radioed through to a checkpoint to let them know that you've checked out, or alternatively you've contacted race control that can get in touch with each of the checkpoints and let them know. So do not just drop out the event. Please notify either a checkpoint, a member of staff, race control, or the sweep, and then the event will go through smoothly with that. Okay, this event very much depends on the weather, isn't it? If it's a bright sunny day as it was last year, it's going to be fantastic. You're all going to be suffering more from having to get your rather sunstroke, so you need your sun lotion with it and your hats on, etc, etc. If it's a wet, miserable day with a bit of mist, yeah, it's going to be slightly harder to navigate, etc. But it is, the majority of the time, it's on the Pennine Way, so it's relatively easy to navigate, and we can follow your arrows along the navigation, along the Pennine Way. Again, please do watch the videos below about each of the routes that you're doing. If you've got any further questions about the event after you've watched this pre-event information, don't hesitate to get in touch. I'll put my email address below, but it's just info@shepherdswalks.co.uk, or again, I'll put the telephone number below, but it's 01669 621 044. I'm happy to speak to anybody. I did this a little bit last year. If you want to chat through your kit, if you want to chat through the route or anything like that, either before the event or on the day itself, just give me a shout. I'm happy and I understand exactly where each of you are coming from, and I can help you in any way. Again, I look forward to seeing you on the day. If there's any questions or any queries, don't hesitate to get in touch. Again, please watch the videos below about the route information. Make sure you transcribe that onto your Ordnance Survey map or onto your watch, or however you're going to navigate during the event. And again, if you've got any questions about the kit list, about the mandatory or the non-mandatory kit list, please don't hesitate to get in touch with ourselves. And I look forward to seeing you all on the day. Fingers crossed we get good weather, and I know last year it was a cracking event. We had really good feedback, so fingers crossed we get a similar event this year. Hope the training has gone well, and I look forward to seeing you all on the day.